The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we'll check back with you. The DOJ may...
Ladies and gentlemen, they have now released the file. Actually, the file was released back in 2021. I believe it was that the file was released. And when I mean the file, I mean the file containing information about Jeffrey Epstein's flight log and all of the politicians and powerful people, celebrities who basically were at one point in time or another on that flight. So there has been so many conversations about whether or not it will be released. Earlier in the day, there was this conversation because the MAGA, they think that Trump is Jehovah. Trump is their Jehovah. So they believe that this file is going to expose a lot of things. It's going to reveal all of the deep states and all this other stuff. And so Pam Bondi, when you saw her started dragging her feet, giving mixed messages and, changing her mind about whether or not she wanted to share she wanted to release the file information or not, MAGA were mad. MAGA did not understand why. And so they started lashing out, not knowing that the reason why Pam Bondi did not want to release it was because she was trying to protect Trump. Because MAGA seemed to have forgotten that in the previously released file, Trump was in it. Trump's name was listed as having taken the flight a bunch of times. You know what I mean? So even though Pam Bondi is here saying, oh no, I haven't seen the file, but it's sitting on my desk, the MLK file, Martin Luther King file, and the JFK file, all of those files are just sitting on her desk and waiting. I'm sure, and she said, oh, she hasn't seen it, she hasn't opened it, but she already has possession of them, I'm very sure that at that point in time, she has already seen the file and she already knew the content of the file. At some point, when it became obvious that Trump's DOJ was being sluggish with the release of the file, there were conversations about whether or not those files, there are certain files being destroyed. And that also went semi-viral on the internet because people could not understand the reason why they just won't release it. So Pam Bondi was just playing ping pong with MAGA. And in my opinion, I think the reason why they were taking their sweet time was because they were worried about Trump's name appearing on the file. Again, in previous release file, it showed Trump's name on the flight log than this one. There are so many names that have been redacted from this new version. And there are conspiracy theories out there that those names that are redacted are Trump's names. The only names of Trump on this particular released file shows Trump traveling with his daughter Tiffany and Melania. Okay, and that was the only one, but every other names had been redacted. Again, it's so obvious that they are trying to protect Trump. And in my opinion, Trump never had any intention of having those files released, the only reason why Trump was pressured into releasing it was because he was starting to really lose the MAGA crowd, as they were so confused as to why he's not releasing the file, even though he promised them that he was going to release the file. What these people don't understand is that Trump was only saying those things to deflect, to mislead them, to make them believe that, oh, he really wants to release a file. But it really was a way to create a distraction. But when you've already won, when you've already elected into office and you are sitting, you really have no other choice than to release. Let me go ahead and read what People is reporting. People says Donald Trump named in Jeffrey Epstein's flight log released by his own attorney general. By his own attorney general. Okay? So it says President Donald Trump's name appears in Jeffrey Epstein's flight log released by his own attorney general on Thursday, February 27th. And this was what she was trying to protect. She was trying to protect, find a way, even though Trump had already made all these promises about how all this information are going to be released. Pam Bondi was still trying to protect Trump in not releasing the document because she already knew that his name was going to appear. And now on the document, you have a bunch of names that have been redacted. And the names are basically the names. These are the same files that were released back in 2021. So nothing is really new here other than the fact that Trump appears less on this batch. And then there are a bunch of names that have been redacted. And these are the names on the flight log. So that, yeah. Anyways, so President Donald Trump's name appears in Jeffrey Epstein's flight log released by his own attorney general on Thursday, February 27. People reviewed the flight log and found Trump's name of total of 7 times. Trump's name, a total of 7 times, his name appeared on the flight log, okay? He was mentioned on 24 pages of the he was mentioned on page 24 of the flight log dated October 11, 1993. He was also mentioned twice on page 27 along with his then wife Marla Maples, their daughter Tiffany Trump, and a nanny on May 15, 1994. 3 of the dates had Jeffrey Epstein listed on some flights as Trump, possibly as Trump GM, possibly that woman's name, I don't want to say it, was listed as a passenger on October 1993. The release of the files related to the financiers accused of trafficking came a day before Attorney General Pam Bondi said on Fox that the Justice Department was set to release flight log and names of people associated with Epstein. And so this is Pam Bondi saying, what we are going to see is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information. But it's pretty sick what the man did along with his co-defendants. And by co-defendant, she means Ghislaine Maxwell. And Bondi said Epstein had more than 250 alleged victims. The first phase of files released today shed light on Epstein's extensive network and begins to provide the public with long overdue accountability. The first material released included flight logs on evidence lists, redacted pages from a contact book, and redacted pages of a masseuse list. In a letter to FBI Director Kash Patel, Bondi claims she only received about 200 pages of documents, which consisted primarily of flight logs, Epstein's list of contacts, and a list of victims' names and phone numbers before Patel took office. On Wednesday, she learned from a source that the FBI field office in New York had thousands of pages of document related to the investigation and indictment of Epstein. Bondi requested the FBI's deliver the rest of the document. Hold on. Sorry. The rest of the document. Where was I? Let me see. The rest of the document by 8 a.m. Friday, February 28, and asked Patel to investigate why the request for all documents was not followed. In 2019, Epstein, let me tell you, there is a lot of information that you know, at least from what we have seen, from the evidence that is available, this new FBI director exists to serve Trump. So I am very sure that sending Pam Bondi only 200 pages out of thousands and thousands of pages with regards to Epstein's situation is him trying to protect Trump. Yeah. I'm very sure that the ones that are being withheld in New York are actually more serious. There are actually more serious allegations against Trump in those ones, and they are being withheld to the point where Pam Bondi is now giving him an ultimatum, giving the director of FBI, Kash Patel, an ultimatum to have those documents on her desk by 8 a.m. tomorrow, Friday, February 28th. Okay? I have not a shred of that in my mind that Patel choosing not to release that file was his own way of protecting Trump. Because Jeffrey Epstein said a lot, okay? I was even listening to an audio conversations from some of the files, not from this particular file, some things that from the ones that had been released during his investigation. The guy spoke a lot. He kept mentioning Donald Trump. Okay? He kept talking about Donald Trump. And based on some of the other information that I have seen as a result of my research to this case, there is a lot of things that can actually, there are a lot of things in this Epstein situation that actually paints Trump in a negative light, that merely featuring, merely appearing, merely flying, merely with his name merely showing up on the flight log is the least of the issues with regards to Trump and his escapade with Jeffrey. So it's telling me, my opinion, that Trump is being protected by Kash Patel, the director of FBI, and also in making sure that some of the information that are of more serious nature don't get on somebody else's hand. For example, Pam Bondi, because Pam might decide that she wants to use this to also blackmail Trump. That can be another issue. The less people that have access to this file, the better for Trump. So I definitely see a cover-up, obviously my opinion. I definitely see a cover-up. I definitely see a situation where Trump is being protected by the director of FBI, Kash Patel, to make sure that not a lot of the information is released, because that would just be another person who now has access. Because Pam Bondi, once she gets all this information, she's going to have to make an informed decision which of these information she is going to release to the public. Again, this is a perfect example of when you brag and make noise. Like, Trump really did not think that MAGA country was going to follow through. Trump honestly did not believe in his heart that MAGA country were going to insist on seeing those files that Trump said he was going to release, which is so funny to me because this was not the first time that Trump had promised to release all this file. When he was first in office, he also promised he never released those files because they will directly impact him in many situations. You know what I mean? So I have no shred of doubt in my mind that Trump is being protected, and that's the reason why they only sent around 200 copies of this file to Pam Bondi, because they're trying to protect Trump. And now she is now instructed that she needs the rest of the document by 8 a.m. on February 28th. Whew. Oh my goodness. This is like, listen, this is shaping up to be an amazing thing, okay? Shaping up to be wonderful. So, what was it? Bondi requested the FBI deliver the rest of the document by 8 a.m. Friday, February 28, and asked Patel to investigate why the request for all documents was not followed. Again, I can tell you this for free. Even in Trump administration, right? I can always, even though he's the one who nominated these people, I can always figure out the people who were nominated by Trump, who were Trump's choice, and the people who were maybe other Republicans' choice that were not necessarily Trump's choice. You see this Pam Bondi? I have a feeling that she wants to, I don't know what her motives are. She's probably wanting to have access to all those information so that she can maybe use it to blackmail Trump. I don't know. Okay. But I won't put anything past these people. But one thing that I can tell, based on the letter that she wrote requesting for the rest of the thousands of files, what that is telling me is that she suspects foul play. She's not in unison with Kash Patel and Donald Trump. And that's the reason why she's not in unison with them. You know what I mean? And that's the reason why she's insisting. Again, this could all be so she can, have access, for the rainy day, for when she needs a favor from Trump, and then she can pull the Epstein request the file, and use it. But anyways, continuing, this article says, in 2019, Epstein facing trafficking charges ended by, unaliving in a New York jail. He had ties to high-profile figures like Prince Andrew, Bill Gates, and Trump prior to his arrest. Yep, he did. He sure did. Epstein was accused of trafficking girls as young as 14, according to a federal indictment. He faced a 45-year prison sentence. Epstein previously pleaded guilty to soliciting a person under 18 for prostitution in 2008 and served just over a year in prison. And if you even hear the details about the prison sentence, this man did not even serve prison terms like the traditional way, like the traditional term. When you hear about prison, your first instinct, the first image that you get when you hear that somebody has been sentenced to prison is like they get to stay in prison for the duration of their sentence. They eat there, they sleep there, they wake up, and they do everything. But Epstein's own was not like that. The kind of sentence that they gave Epstein was the one where he was only serving prison terms during the day. And at night, he got to go home. Oh, no, he was serving prison times during the night. And during the day, he gets to go and work and do all this other stuff. I was like, the things rich people get away with. Like, seriously, It's like they had a different law, different sets of law for Epstein. That he could go during the day and do his business and then just come back at night and spend the night in prison. That was how he served his term. Like I was like, what in the heck goes on in Florida? Like, what's going on in Florida, for goodness sake? You know? So to me, that's hardly a prison sentence. Like, it's crazy. Maxwell Epstein's co-conspirator was was convicted of sex trafficking in 2022 and sentenced to 20 years in prison. And people were really mad that she only got like 20 years in prison. People were wondering, why would she get 20 years in prison in spite of what she had been accused of doing? People were expecting that, she will get more time, but she only got 20 years in prison. Like I said, it made a lot of people mad. Okay. So I found a bunch of stuff. Let me just share my screen. Let me share my screen on Twitter. Like, Twitter is losing its mind. Can you imagine every single time Trump diminishes the office? This is Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, okay? Both of them, very close friends. Trump is whispering sweet nothings to him, and he is giggling like a schoolgirl. Look at him giggling. God knows what Trump was saying to this man, that as awful as this man is, whatever Trump was saying to him was making him blush. Seriously. What was Trump saying to this man? Dirty, dirty, filthy human. Like, he's so disgusting. Trump. Oh my goodness, he's disgusting. He's just disgusting. Let me go ahead and share something. I don't want this video to be too long, so yeah. This man, that was the reason why he cranked up his racist antics to the 10th, because he knew that he was facing serious prison sentence if he didn't win the election. And so he made a deal with a whole bunch of people, including Elon Musk, who, in my opinion, and my opinion only, because I have no evidence to this, who I believe so strongly, through his Starlink, rigged the election. And that's my opinion on this. That's my opinion, and I am sticking to that. So this was something that I was reading up on this. So this is the flight manifesto, okay? This is the flight manifesto, the names. You have somebody called Bob Meister, you have Jamie A. Melanson, you have Lane Miller, Marvin Minsky, and then name 59 has been redacted. Name 60, Joe Mullen. 61, Joe Pagano. 62, Mary Paluga. 63, J. Stanley Pontinger. 64, Joseph Ricari. 65, Michael Ryder. Jason Richards. Bill Richardson, Sky Roberts, Scott Rothstein, Forrest Sawyer, Doug Sholto, Kevin Spacey, even Kevin Spacey, another disgraced Hollywood celebrity. Like, who was disgraced? This man was a pariah. Kevin Spacey was a predator. So Kevin Spacey, Cecilia Stein, Mark Tafoya, Brent Tyndall, Kevin Thompson, Donald Trump, Ed Tuttle. So yeah, these are some of the names on the list. As you can see, Donald Trump is in it. And a lot more information is going to come out. Whether Pam Bondi is going to like go full force and release. This is Donald Trump and Melania Trump. Hey gosh, oh, Melania. This is Donald Trump, Melania, Jeffrey, and Ghislaine all hanging out, okay? This is not a fly-by-night situation. This is not like, these people were close. According to Jeffrey Epstein, according to the audio that I listened to today, these people were close. Jeffrey Epstein and Trump were close. Okay? They were so close. Look at Melania looking like she's like, she's so far gone. My goodness. These people. So let me go ahead and read this one. So this thing from Politics Video Channel says, and Epstein's victim says there are tapes. Hey, allegedly, Jeffrey Epstein's victim is saying that there are tapes of Trump having intercourse with quote unquote many girls, okay, by Jeffrey. So Jeffrey, and one thing that has been established as what Jeffrey did quite a lot. Jeffrey Epstein was in the habit of always recording the people that came. Anybody that came to his home was subject to being recorded. There were cameras everywhere. Jeffrey Epstein lived in this huge ass mansion in the heart of New York City that has about 60 something bedrooms in this mansion, and every single room had a hidden camera. Yeah, every single room had a hidden camera that he was using to blackmail these people. Like, he will encourage them. He will even be a facilitator, allowing them to bring in whatever they wanted to bring in, whoever they wanted to bring in. He will let them. But then they had no idea that they were being recorded. And that was why he was so powerful, Jeff. That was why he was so powerful. Because he allowed all these people, he welcomed all these people to his home. He let them come in and spend time and slept there and bring in their whoever, whatever, right? But what they did not, and he even brought things, brought all kinds of underage to entertain these people. But what they did not know was that he had cameras, hidden cameras in every single room of that mansion. He had hidden, and that was why he had all this information about, even when they are discussing business, even when they are not committing, crimes and all this other stuff, even when they are just in what they thought was the privacy of the room, just discussing business or even gossiping other people or planning or plotting how they're going to commit their next crimes or whatever, Jeff had all of those information because he was recording them. That was why he was such a powerful person. Because he had all of their secrets. And if they wanted him to keep their secret, they better do as he said. He was such a powerful person. And that was why a lot of people were shaking in their boots after he was arrested. Because a lot of people knew that he had done, like they knew that, especially those who had been in his space or even at his mansion, they knew that he could bury them with the things that he knew about them. Like he could destroy them. And because of that, they were always worried. And they did everything that he said. Even those people, they also asked their friends to protect him. Not necessarily because of him, but because of all the things, all the secrets that he had on them. This Jeff person. Okay. So this is what this is reporting, that Jeff kept blackmail videos that showed Trump having the S word with quote-unquote many girls supplied by him, and by him they mean Jeff, according to the latest bombshell claim in newly unsealed court documents. In the latest dump of papers made public last year, are emails sent by Epstein victim Sarah Ransom to columnist Maureen Callahan in 2016. At the time, Callahan worked for the New York Post and was reporting on Epstein. Ransom claimed in those emails that Trump had the S word with many girls, including a friend of hers who is not named, who she says also slept with Bill Clinton and Virgin billionaire Richard Branson. Like all these people were always flying in Epstein. Like, where is the video? There's actually something that I saw of Branson. I think this is part of the release documents. And if you look at the names, if you look at the names that are listed, even on the flight plan, then you will understand the reason why there was a need to for them to protect Epstein. Because he had all these people exactly where he needed them. He had all of them exactly where he needed them. Let me continue reading and I will look for this later. So this is about, it said, when my friend had that thing with Clinton, Prince Andrew and Richard Branson, the tapes were in fact filmed on each separate occasions by Jeffrey. Thank God she managed to get a hold of some footage of the filmed tapes, which clearly identifies the faces of Clinton, Prince Andrew, and Branson having that word with her. Frustratingly enough, Epstein was not seen in any of the video, but he was clever like that. Well, because he was the one who was the mastermind. He was the one planting all the videos. You know what I mean? He was the one positioning. Of course, he knew where the videos were. Of course, he knew what room he didn't want to be in at certain time, because those were the rooms that were already compromised by him. So that makes sense. And Ransom claimed in those emails, okay, I've already read this one. In 2016, I've already done this one as well. So this is Sarah Ransom with Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, so this is, so this is, as you can see, there is Epstein and Bill Clinton. There is Trump and Epstein and Melania. And then there is Branson, the owner of Virgin Enterprise. Okay? So, yeah, this is why there are so many powerful people. We're not talking millionaires, we're talking old money, we're talking people in top positions. Like if that video had not shown, if that video of Prince Andrew coming out of Jeff's mansion in New York City if that video had not, if those paparazzis were not there to record, paparazzi, by the way, that followed him all the way from the UK, they were doing an investigation, and so they followed him. Little did they know that they were following him into Jeffrey Epstein's. Okay, so those videos that were recorded by paparazzis, if those videos had not been released, which it was actually after they saw him with Epstein that they really started questioning, like, who's this guy? And then they did their investigation and they found that, oh, this is a creepy guy, okay, with his own dirty little secrets all the way in Florida. And so he became even more interesting. The whole situation became even more interesting. But what I'm saying is that if those videos had not been released of Prince Andrew coming out of Jeff's mansion, you will never think that somebody like Prince Andrew back then will even know somebody like Jeff, let alone being an accomplice in the things that he was later accused of. I say all of this to say that, you see, these old money people, they were Jeffrey Epstein's, I won't even call them victim, because they put themselves in that situation, but they were being blackmailed by Epstein, in exchange for their protection. It's like, rich, wealthy, uber wealthy people, they only hang out with like minds, So every single time that Epstein found himself in trouble, I'm sure a bunch of calls were made and things were moved around, and he only got a slap on the wrist. Because he would just say, for example, in case of Prince Andrew, for example, okay, whenever he got wind, and by he I mean Jeffrey, whenever Jeffrey got wind that he was gonna be in trouble, he was being investigated, some people have reported him to the authorities, and they're launching an investigation into some of the heinous things that he's been accused of. Because he already had all these uber wealthy people who have also done bad things that he has evidence for, he will reach out to them and be like, can you help me make this go away? I was just informed that I'm being investigated. So if you will make this go away, it'll be greatly appreciated. It's just something crazy. It's just somebody that is money hungry. I didn't do any of the things that I'm being accused of. Or he probably doesn't even need to say all those things. Because mind you, birds of the same feather. So I'm sure that those people would have seen him in compromising situations. So they know that he is good for what he's been accused of, right? Fine. So he reaches out to any one of his uber wealthy friends, old money, and like, can you do something to make this go away? Can you help me? Can you call me? Can you make a call? And whoever it is that he's talking to will probably be like, no, man, I don't want to get involved. I'm so sorry. I wish I can help you, but I don't want to get involved, because, I'm already in some type of whatever, but it's not good. It's not a good look for me to be getting involved in this kind of situation that has to do with you. And then Jeffy will then say something like, oh, so you're too good for me? Oh, I bet you wouldn't like it when I don't mean, I'm not trying to do a shake up or whatever, but the last time you were over at my place, I didn't remember that you were in one of the rooms that had cameras. We put these cameras there for protection to avoid people from stealing from us, but the camera actually caught you doing some things with somebody that was not your wife, somebody that was not of age, and all this other stuff. That's how the blackmailing thing happens. And then, once somebody hears that there is an actual camera, there's an actual recording of them doing something bad, what do you think he's going to do? Of course, immediately he's going to be like, oh, you know what? I'll make the call. I'll call my friends and see if they can make this go away. I'm not going to make any promise, Jeffy. I won't make any promise, but I'll do my best because you're my friend, okay? It's not because you're trying to blackmail me. It's not because you planted a camera in a room that you let me go in to do my bad thing, only for you to then turn around and use it to blackmail me. So don't worry, it's not because of that at all. I will contact some of my friends and see how we can make your problems go away, all because we are friends. You know? So that was how Epstein was ruling with an iron fist. That was how he became such a powerful man. Okay? So, yeah. There's even this conversation about how, I believe it was the former CEO of Victoria's Secret who literally willed every single thing to Epstein. Like, he willed his fortune, like he willed everything to him. And they're not related in any way, shape, or form. They're not related. That's how you become like those of you, if you have an ambition to be a powerful person, a ruthless, powerful person, this is the master class on how to do that. Okay? Just find a way to blackmail some of the most powerful people in the world, and you will subsequently become the most powerful, most untouchable person in the world. Yeah. Yeah. That's how Jeffy became that. And all of these people are now indebted to him. And I really, back to what I was saying about Kash Patel, I really, really believe that not sending all the information that Pam Bondi requested was him trying to protect Trump. You know, maybe he also struck a deal with Trump that I'll protect you. And like I already said before, there are allegations that the FBI is out there allegedly deleting information about these stuff. Okay. Somebody says like a work release. What is that? And I also feel like Pam, having now taken this position, is sending enough information because she doesn't want to be locked up in this mess that has nothing to do with her. So she's also letting them know that, hey, they didn't give me everything, even though they are claiming that they sent me everything. They didn't send me everything. They only sent me 200 copies. Okay? So that tomorrow they cannot turn around and say, oh, we sent her everything, and it is now on her discretion whether or not to release those information or not. So they cannot say that. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, because that's why she's also sounding the alarm and being a little bit forceful in her ultimatum to the FBI and be like, release those things. I need to see those things in my office by 8 a.m. Because there is trouble in the MAGA world, okay? Because Trump has overpromised, and there is a possibility that he's not going to deliver. He's going to underdeliver, just like how underwhelming this list was. They literally released names. They literally released names that had already been released before, back in 2021, because they were trying so hard to silence MAGA. They thought they can just send them those things and distract them. They were basically they were re-gifting MAGA what they had already, or whatever things, information that were already out there. So that tells you all you need to know about these people. Protecting Trump at all costs. I'm very sure it's for their own self-interest. I don't think any of these people that are protecting Trump are doing it because they like the guy. No, they are also holding whatever information that they have as leverage. The information that they have, they are holding it as leverage because they want to make sure that tomorrow, they will have something that they will hold over Trump just in case. Just in case. So, just in case they need a favor. Let me share something else. It's a really embarrassing situation. Can you imagine? And this is supposed to be the president of the United States. Like, this man has so bastardized the office of the United States. Oh my gosh, this man has so denigrated. That's his name again. That's his name, Donald Trump, and Mala, and yeah. These are information that's already out there. This man, it's like, yeah, he's on a mission to literally destroy. Okay? So that's, before anybody start jumping on the bandwagon. Okay, hold on. Let me see. I'm checking something, guys. Let me see. Let me share something. Okay. So this is Trump with Jeff.
Financier Jeffrey Epstein.
They were bosom friends.
His guilty plea on state prostitution charges. Later in the footage, Trump is seen talking to Epstein and another man as women are dancing in front of them. Trump alternates between dancing and pointing out women to Epstein and the other man and telling Epstein about the cameras. Though exactly what they say is difficult to understand as they discuss the women and their appearances. Trump gestures to one and appears to say to Epstein, "Look at her back there. She's hot." And then Trump says something else into Epstein's ear that makes him double over with laughter. But as the president says now,
can you imagine, can you even imagine what Trump would have said to this man with the reputation that he has that will make him have this kind of reaction? This man, with all of the things that we now know about him, can you imagine what Trump would have said to him, what Trump would have whispered to him to make him double over, to make him blush the way that he did?
he never liked Epstein.
I was not a
He always denies people. He always denies people. And that's the reason why I always tell what's his face, Elon Musk, to sleep with one eye open. Because you see, Trump, when the time comes for him to throw you under the bus, he will not think twice. He will deny you like more than Peter denied Jesus Christ on the cross of Calvary.
We're going to get great ratings in your show.
Trump is surrounded by women as music blares in the background. After a while, Trump goes to greet 3 new guests, among them the financier Jeffrey Epstein. More than a decade before his guilty plea on state prostitution charges. Later in the footage, Trump is seen talking to Epstein and another man as women are dancing in front of them. Trump alternates between dancing and pointing out women to Epstein and the other man and telling Epstein about the cameras. Though exactly what they say is difficult to understand as they discuss the women and their appearances, Trump gestures to one and appears to say to Epstein, "Look at her back there. She's hot." And then Trump says something else into Epstein's ear that makes him double over with laughter. But as the president says now, he never liked Epstein.
I was not a
You never liked Epstein. Oh my God. He never liked Epstein, he said. Oh my goodness. Let me see. Let me see. So this is the Office of the Attorney General. So this is the letter. Let me share my screen. The letter that Pam Bondi sent to Kash Patel with regards to the files. So he said, she said, Pam Bondi said, Office of the Attorney General, Washington, D.C., February 27, 2025. Dear Director Patel, before you came into office, I requested the full and complete files related to Jeffrey Epstein. In response to this, I received approximately 200 pages of documents, which consisted primarily of flight logs, Epstein's list of contacts, and a list of victims' names and phone numbers. I repeatedly questioned whether this was the full set of documents responsive to my request and was repeatedly assured by the FBI that we had received the full set of documents. Late yesterday, I learned from a source that the FBI field in New York was in possession of thousands of pages of documents related to the investigation and indictment of Epstein. Despite my repeated requests, the FBI never disclosed the existence of these files. When you and I spoke yesterday, you were just as surprised as I was to learn this new information. By 8 a.m. tomorrow, February 28th, the FBI will deliver the full and complete. She's a tough one. She says by 8 a.m. tomorrow, February 28th, the FBI will deliver the full and complete Epstein file to my office, including all records, documents, audios, and video recordings and materials related to Jeffrey Epstein and his clients, regardless of how such information was obtained. There will be no withholdings or limitations to my or your access. The Department of Justice will ensure that any public disclosure of these files will be done in a manner to protect the privacy of victims and in accordance with law, as I have done my entire career as a prosecutor. I am also directing you to conduct an immediate investigation into why my order to FBI was not followed. You will deliver to me a comprehensive report of your findings and a proposed personnel action within 14 days. I appreciate your immediate attention to this matter. I know that we are both committed to transparency for the American people, and I look forward to continuing to work with you to serve our president and our country. Listen, Cash Patel is protecting Trump. You guys are gonna say I told you so. Okay, she says she used to be a former prosecutor. This former prosecutor has no idea. She has no idea that she's in way over her head. Okay? So Pam Bondi, Attorney General, like they are taking MAGA for a stroll. Okay? They are convincing MAGA that the reason why these information are not provided is because they are trying to protect the deep state. Like, it is wild to me. It is crazy. But yeah, we are going to have to wait and see. And then another thing that Trump did, they say they are all about transparency. Do you know what they did? Trump instructed that the so-called files be released to right-wing influencers. Yeah. These documentations were released to right-wing influencers. And these are the people that want anybody to take them seriously. Like, the whole thing is wild. But yeah. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment. Thank you so much for being here. Those of you who are here hanging with me. Like the video and also share. And I will, of course, catch you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.